But I mean, by our impression of size and height, I mean, that is absolutely enormous. But of course, it's all relative, isn't it?
It is all relative. You're absolutely correct, Mike.
Yes. I gather that in current times, they've probably changed to about 200 to 500 feet tall. So we wouldn't expect to perhaps see them any larger than that.
Well, they get as big as they want, but normally in the manifested form in most of this galaxy, the average height is 10 feet or under.
Yes. Okay. I gather there are now two groups of physical angels, and one lot work with the divas, that is, and the planetary divas, to support the continuation of life in the planet biosphere.
Right. The divic forms basically control all the different forms of life forms, plant life as well as animal life. And of course, for us, there's a special set as well as for the cetaceans, because the cetaceans are the only other super intelligent beings on this planet beside ourselves that are native to this planet.
Now, just moving on to another subject here and coming back really to Ascension, there are some groups of people that expect Jesus Christ to return. Others believe that it is only the Christ energy. What is your view about that?
Well, the Ascended Master part is going to be coming back, as well as the enlightened energies of the Ascended Masters that will come with them. So actually, it will be a second coming in the physical, but with everybody else, because there's literally tens of thousands of Ascended Masters, of which maybe about 50 to 100 are the ones that people know more than others who really study the subject. So
yeah,
he'll be there among others. But I don't hold with the exalted place. The Ascended Masters are the Ascended Masters, and that's how I've always looked at it ever since I've dealt with them.
Right. Now, I think in your book, Your First Contact, you also might have mentioned about people channeling Ascension material, and often the name Sananda crops up, as well as beings called the Great White Brotherhood, and I think you mentioned that this includes the Ashtar Command. Now, is it correct that they all participate in this ascension process?
That is correct. They all do. The purpose of all ascended beings is to help us return to full consciousness, which is basically what the ascension process is about.
Yes. And Sananda, I believe you mentioned, was the Christ light of the Pleiades.
Right. It's more of a galactic one.
Yes. So it's interesting, so that the Christ energy is not peculiar to this planet.
No, it's not. It's all through this galaxy. It's not something that is. This is the problem with our religious and philosophic beliefs. Is we tend to be xenocentric here. We tend to look more at ourselves as being the center of it all, and not understanding that all the energies out in the galaxy are one and the same in different forms that are part of making sure that this galaxy moves into the light, which is what the divine plan in this galaxy is all about. So I don't really make those differentiations like a lot of other people do. I just don't, because of what I was told since I was a little kid. So that's the way I view it.
Yeah. Now, I think most people who like these sort of subjects that you and I are talking about have all heard of Lord Michael, perhaps to a slightly lesser degree, Lord Metatron. Where do they fit into the creation strategy of the spiritual hierarchy?
Well, Michael is an archangel. He's just below the seraphim, but he's one of the major archangels, and so his task is leading a lot of the councils of heaven in the process of helping to return us to the light. So he has been assigned to that task, and since we are in the midst of doing that right now, as this is what First Contact is about, and what the return to full consciousness at the core all about. So his task is helping us move through our present problems and into full consciousness.
Yes. So I believe they might be connected with the Council of Nine. So what functions do they serve?
Well, the Council of Nine is a very high council. It's a council creation, and its task basically is to bring forth the good word of the divine plan and to help people understand what the divine plan is all about. So the Nine tend to be around most of the time when I get to talk to them when something major is about to happen on this planet. So yeah. I haven't talked to them in a while because of that. But we are close to some things, so I'm hoping that soon they'll show up.
Which will be a good sign, evidently, then.
Yeah, it'll be a marvelous omen. Major
yes,
number one portent.
Right. Where the inner earth is concerned, just popping back to that again, while the changes are taking place, is it correct that some people might be taken into the inner earth for their safety?
Well, the whole problem is they have to realize it's not just a few people, it's everybody. When we get to the final part of this particular scenario, which is after first contact, when we're ready to become fully conscious, the planet's major concept then, Mother Earth's one, is to change her surface and return herself to full conscious status herself. And so she'll be rock and rolling here on the surface. So everybody on the surface has to either be evacuated or put in another place or put in some place that's safe. In the case of us, it'll be going down to inner Earth, and in the case of a few people who, when this happens, their life cycle on this planet is done, they'll be returned to the ships for their change and then returned to their home world. So, but the vast majority of us will be down in Earth where it's safe while all this stuff's going on the surface, and then we'll be fully conscious. We'll probably stay there because that's where fully conscious beings tend to stay, is in the inner world, and just start the process of opening to the surface as part of bringing forth various nodes, which are the major energy centers of the planet, and helping to do rituals and other related energy work that allows for this planet to maintain itself at its maximum level of life force energy. So we'll basically go into our fully conscious mode as stewards or guardians, whichever word you like to use better, of Mother Earth and then of this entire solar system. So
would you categorically say that no one would actually be taken up into the craft for the same reasons?
Well, people, as I said, will be taken up if their cycle is done here, and they're going to then be put into full consciousness and return to their home world. So those people that are at that level will be returned up to the ships. The other people, which is probably about 90% of us or more here, will be going down into inner Earth to prepare for our stewardships as fully conscious beings of this solar system.
Okay, you're pretty positive about that one. Do you still have a photographic memory?
I wish I did, no.
You haven't, but you used to, did you not?
Oh, I was amazing. I am amazed myself. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's one of the hardest things I gave up that I've been trying very hard to return to, and I haven't quite succeeded yet.
Okay. No, you've been such an interesting talker, and I know you're never lost for words. We haven't reached the end of the program, but I think, in all fairness, I ought to give you a few minutes to yourself to tell our listeners what you've currently got going on the DVD side.
Sure, I would love to.
It's yours, as they say.
Okay. For those who are interested, I've got a brand new DVD video out, which is Sheldan Nidle gives you a personalized tour of a Syrian mothership, and we go through 8 parts of the ship, and we explain exactly what's going on in the ship, and what we've been talking about here is just kind of like a brief overview of what we do there. We do a lot more, and I think you'll really enjoy it, and that's our newest one. Then we have one on Inner Earth, which we've been talking about, and that's DV720. And so if you go to our website, which is www.paoweb, that's one word, paoweb.com, and just go to products, you'll see all these marvelous products that we have, which is based on all the stuff we've been talking about. You'll see the book, Your First Contact. You'll see your your galactic neighbors, and you'll see our